You're listening to the Firewater Review, a podcast dedicated to whiskey reviews. On today's show, we will be reviewing Bernheim Original Kentucky Wheat Whiskey. I am your host, Seth Brown. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Aaron Cave. How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
I am doing well. This is kind of a take two on this one.
Yes.
This was supposed to be part of a two recording night that did not happen. So
that was a zero recording night.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. But I'm looking forward to this one. You know, you had you're a big Jamie Ferris Lincoln Road guy. And,
yes.
It had dawned on me that I could take not really even a detour, just an alternate route down to New Orleans and go through Hattiesburg, which is where Lincoln Road is. So we took that route, and you had mentioned a couple of store picks that he had there, and this was one of them, the Bernheim Original. So it's not just any old Bernheim Original wheat whiskey. It is a Jamie Ferris pick of Bernheim wheat whiskey. So I was going into that store, man, that's like a candy shop, man.
I know, and I wish I'd never been down to actually see the store, but the list of picks he sends me, I'm blown away.
Yeah, it's not a big store, and it's kind of weird because it's not like it's in a bad area of town, but it's just kind of a not even really a rundown strip mall. It's just not what you would think it would be.
Yeah.
Because I know we pulled up to it, and I had just this image in my head of what this store looked like. And we pulled up, and it was totally not what I had thought it would be. And so I'm on my phone doing a quick search going, are we at the right place? And so it says there in the window, Lincoln Road. And then I said, okay, yeah, that's the logo. I've seen it online. We're at the right place. So we walk in, and it's not a big store. And he's kind of on the end of a little grocery store, strip mall there, strip plaza. And as soon as I walk in, I absolutely knew that I was in the right place, because he had like 2 or 3 Four Roses picks, like 4 Knob Creek picks, the Bernheim pick. I mean, you know, if I had all the money in the world, I would have bought one of everything. But,
yeah,
you know, I was on my way to New Orleans, so I had to restrain myself.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I had, as far as Bernheim goes, it's been a long, long time since I'd had this. And I kind of had some reservations about it. But then, you know, when you told me what you had thought about this particular pick, then, you know, I don't know. It gets a bad rap, I guess, the regular release of it.
Yeah.
And so I was a little hesitant to pick it up, but then I thought, you know, okay, you always speak very highly of the stuff that he picks. And to be honest, it was kind of on the lower end of a lot of what his picks were. I mean, this was like $30, $40 bucks, maybe something like that.
$30. Yeah.
And so at that price, I thought, okay, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And we'll get into the review, but that was my initial thoughts on it. I was like, do I want this? Do I want to, spend 10, 15 extra bucks and get a Knob Creek, an additional Knob Creek?
Yeah.
I'm glad I picked this one up, though.
So yeah, this one's just such a good, nice, easy drinker. And not only is it a single barrel selected by him, it's also non-chill filtered. So it's got a little bit extra flavor to it, which when he told me it was non-chill filtered, and still $30, that was a no-brainer for me. And this is actually my second bottle. So I've already gone through a bottle of it, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I get a third one, to tell you the truth. But the Bernheim, it's a wheat whiskey, not a bourbon. It's produced by Heaven Hill. They introduced this in 2005, and it went from 2005 to 2014 as a non-age statement wheat whiskey. So it's probably sitting somewhere between 4 and 5 years. And I think that's where it kind of got its bad rap, just because, it's a young wheat whiskey. Ryes hold up on really good on the younger side, where a wheat whiskey, they do well with age. And when you're sitting at that 4 to 5 year and you're releasing, wheat whiskey, it's iffy. So I think a lot of people didn't like it at first. And so Heaven Hill, they did what the total opposite of every other distillery in the world. In 2014, they turn around and slap an age statement on it, 7-year age statement, and they keep the price the same. So that's phenomenal for me. It's like, not only are you raising the age, you're stating the age, you're keeping the price. You're not gouging up the price.
Right.
So for it to be a wheat whiskey, it has to be at least 51% wheat. It follows all the rules as bourbon and rye. That's your primary grain is your wheat, your secondary is corn, and then barley's to follow. I've seen different, mash bills for it, and from what I have gathered, it's 51% wheat, just the bare minimum to hit that wheat, and then 39% corn and 10% barley. I don't know if it's 100% true, but that's what I found. So, like I said, it was introduced in 2005, and really it was pretty much the first wheat whiskey to hit the market since Prohibition. So that's kind of a big thing. It's solid now, I think. Even the regular small batch bottles, they're not that bad. But this single barrel, if you can find the right single barrel picks, yeah, they're worth picking up for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's about all I got. You got anything?
I was just going to go into a little bit of the history of the actual Bernheim distillery. I mean, it's been around forever. And then, as you mentioned, Heaven Hill owns the brand. And Heaven Hill actually moved after they had their fire in, what was it, 1996, the Heaven Hill fire. They moved, I think, pretty much the largest portion of their actual distilling to the Bernheim facility. And then they had other distilleries that kind of pitched in and helped out with the distilling. But they had moved the biggest portion of it over to the Bernheim distillery. And then I think, did they eventually move everything there, or did they rebuild? I can't remember.
I believe so. Everything right now, I believe, is being distilled in Louisville and bottled at the old Bernheim. So it's aged and bottled at the old Bernheim in Bardstown. Yeah, I think that's all I really got for it. There's not a ton of information on it because it hasn't been around super long. It's only since 2005. And I think the big thing to take away from this is it went from non-age stated to age stated without a price increase, which is just awesome.
Yeah, and then when you get into this one, it being non-chill filtered too. I had never seen a private pick of it, a private barrel of it, until you had said that. I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. And that was one of the selling points too. I'm like, you know what? It's different. It's going to be different than, any other bottle that you would get off the shelf. At least it should be. And then when you add in that, it's coming from Lincoln Road, then obviously it's going to be different.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember I had the non-age stated a while back and wasn't a huge fan. And when they slapped the 7-year on it, I was like, well, I'll give it another try. And, I thought it was kind of just mediocre, middle of the road. I just thought, there's better products for that same price for me. And so I never really picked up another bottle till Ferris sent me his list, and I asked him about the Bernheim, and he said non-chill filter, and I was like, all right, $30. Let's try it.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is my second bottle, and probably won't be my last unless he sells out. Which he might after this, who knows?
Yeah. You'll buy him out, right?
Probably.
All right.
But with that said, Shall we review?
We shall. So we're going to take a short break, jot down some notes, and when we come back, we will share said notes when we return. Welcome back, everybody. On the break, we've been sipping on a little Bernheim Original Kentucky Straight Wheat Whiskey, which is a 7-year age-stated small batch. This particular bottle that Aaron and I are sipping on tonight is from Lincoln Road Package Store in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, a pick of one Mr. Jamie Ferris. So, with that said, Aaron, you want to kick it off?
All right, I will. So, I don't know if this is the same with you, but when I am trying a wheated whiskey, on the nose, I always get a lot of vanilla. And I don't know if that's just the wheat, the wheat itself just bringing out, that's the aroma that it gives off, but I always get a heavy vanilla nose with all wheat whiskeys that I have tried. But on this one, it's up front, it's sweet vanilla. It's got a little bit of like a creamy toffee, some cake dough, almost like a cake batter, I guess. I get hints of cherry, a little bit of nutmeg, kind of some nice cocoa, chocolatey notes coming out, hints of molasses, and a little bit of citrus kind of floats in there, and then get that nice charred oak. And on the palate, it's full of vanilla and honey, a little bit of cherries, they get a little bit of orange peel, some burnt sugar, little hints of cinnamon, not a whole lot. Cloves kind of float in there just a little bit. Get that charred oak, and then a nice leather and tobacco. And on the finish, it's long. I think for it to be only 90 proof, it has a pretty long finish for me, and I think it's due to the non-chill filter. But that finish, it's just really candied nuts, burnt sugar, oak, and it's kind of heavier on the almond for me. Yeah, I love this pour. It's great. It's solid. He does, like I said, I'm a big Ferris fan, and he really picks some good ones. And for me, I give this a 89.
Nice.
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, it's a solid wheat whiskey.
Good deal. Well, I would agree with you on the vanilla. The nose is packed full of that for sure. It's got lots of vanilla, caramel. It's getting some oak, nutmeg, some light honey. I was even picking up a little pinch of what I feel like is oregano, and then getting a little bit of red pepper provides a little bit of spicy, pungent on the nose there, and a little bit of citrus as well. And then on the palate, I kind of liked it because the first sip, it's almost like the spice just kind of increases. Usually, well, not usually, but a lot of whiskeys, you just, it's almost like a punch in the face. You get that spice right up front. And this one, it wasn't that way. It was just kind of like it just kind of continued to grow a little bit there. And I kind of thought that was cool, especially for, like you mentioned, a lower proof wheat. I really wasn't expecting too much of that, but I was getting a lot of the big caramel and vanilla flavors that I had on the nose. There was a good amount of oak, but it wasn't too overpowering. It kind of balanced it out a little bit. Some of the red pepper and got some leather there too showing up, and just really helped kind of push that spice a little bit further for me on the palate. The finish, I love the finish on this one. I'm more of a big rye guy, as most people probably know. So I wasn't really expecting too much of a finish on this, especially for the lower proof and it being a wheat whiskey. But I thought the finish on it was spectacular. It's long. It starts off pretty spicy. I was getting hints of leather there. That gives way a little bit to the sweeter flavors, some burnt sugar and caramel. Toward the very end, I was getting almost a cinnamon toast flavor. It kind of reminded me of cinnamon toast cereal. Kind of a little bit of grain mixed in there too. I thought it was kind of cool though. I enjoyed it. and just the spice. It's long and the sweet, almost kind of buttery towards the very end, and I really liked it. That kind of sold me on the overall experience of it, and no joke. As I mentioned, these are really kind of 2-week-old notes. I too gave it an 89.
Oh, wow. Don't even need to add.
No math needed.
No math. 89. All right.
I think if you can find something like this, don't hesitate to pick it up, especially at, $30-$35.
Yeah, any store pick of the Bernheims, they're all going to be different. But the nice thing with Heaven Hill is, I don't know if a lot of store owners or bar owners or people doing barrel selections know this, but if you tell them, I want this bottle non-chill filtered, they do it.
You have to think if you're tossing them, several thousands of dollars.
Well, you would think that, but other distilleries, they're there's certain ways they do things, and they won't do that for you. So
Beam,
Beam. So I'm just saying, so you can find Bernheims, you can find Elijah Cray, you could find Henry McKenna's that are non-chill filtered that are out there. And if I'm ever picking up an Elijah Cray or a Henry McKenna store pick, I always ask, hey, is this non-chill filtered? A lot of times I get, I don't know, but if I get I don't know, I know that means, well, no, it's not. Yeah. So hey, don't be afraid to ask. People might look at you like you're an idiot, but
well, that just means you're asking the wrong person at the counter.
Exactly. It never hurts to ask, and you never know. Someone might say, "Yep, it is non-chill filtered," and then they'll say, "You're a whiskey guy." But this is a great pour. Like I said, this is my second bottle. It won't be my last.
The nice thing is, I think my wife has some friends in the Hattiesburg area.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Worst
Don't
case,
even have to worry about getting to ship it. Ships. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, before we went to the break, I was attempting to give a little history on the Bernheim distillery, and I wanted to clarify a few things. The Heaven Hill fire was actually in 1996, and after the fire, they had kind of outsourced production to mostly Brown-Forman and Beam. And then they ended up purchasing the Bernheim distillery in Louisville from Diageo. And I think that was around 1999-ish. And then now all the fermenting, mashing, and distilling occurs at the new distillery. And then the aging, bottling, and shipping occur in Bardstown. Just wanted to clarify that. I tried to get all smart, and it didn't go so well. I didn't feel like.
We had it right, though.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. So, yeah, this was good, man. I'm glad you told me to pick it up.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, because, when I first tried it, right when I popped the bottle, first bottle I had, I popped it and I poured it, and I was just like, wow, this is going to be stellar in a couple months. Yeah. And it did not disappoint. When I got almost to the end of that bottle, I was like, I wonder if he has any left. And I texted him, and sure as hell, he texted me back, yep, still got it. And I'm like, send it my way. So
yeah, he still had. This was back in March, late March.
Yeah, that
we were going through, and he had several there in the store.
Oh yeah, he sent me an updated list a couple weeks ago, and he still had it on there. So he still got it. So
well, I have to think that with all that he has in there, he had, like I said, I say at least 2, if not 4 different Four Roses and several Knob Creeks, and those were kind of up front.
Yeah.
Close to the checkout register. And what else did he have in there up close? I can't remember. But then, like the Bernheim, he had a kind of an end cap there as you first walk into the store, kind of facing you. And he had a couple of the Bernheim on that shelf, along with a few others of his picks. But then the rest of it was like back on the shelf. It's not, at least at the time, it wasn't being heavily promoted,
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
like some of the other ones are. So I mean, if that's still the case, then he may have it for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of people go in there to pick up his Four Roses and his Knob Creeks and stuff like that. So those are always out front, probably. And the list he sent me, a couple weeks ago, he had almost 7 or 8 Four Roses picks.
Oh, really?
And yeah, he had a lot of them on there. And he still has probably 5 Knob Creek picks. So,
Yeah,
and
that was
most of those are 12 years. So definitely worth looking into. I've tried them all, and they are all amazing.
it was hard for me not to pull the trigger on at least one of those Four Roses.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, I was like, you know what? I think my wife picked up something, and then I picked up these 2 bottles. So I was already, dropping a decent amount, and we hadn't even gotten to New Orleans yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, because those Four Roses picks are around $60.
Yeah. I told you about the tasting I'm putting together here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's a hell of a tasting. I may come up for that.
yeah. I'm putting on a Jamie Ferris single barrel tasting, and I ordered 3. I think I got 3 different Four Roses picks, 2 of his Russell picks, Kentucky Spirits, and 1 other, and I got 3 bottles of each. So it's gonna be a good time.
I'd hate to be the guy to package all that up.
I don't know. I picked it all up today.
Oh, did you?
From FedEx? Yeah. Well, yeah, it was supposed to be delivered Friday, but we were in Wisconsin, so
yeah.
I had to have it held at one of the local shops, and we just got home yesterday, so I had to go swing over and pick it up this morning.
How many boxes did that come in?
Came in 2. I got it all in 2. So yeah, they're heavier and shit though. But
I bet. That's funny.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, and he has a newsletter that you guys can sign up for. I think this LincolnRoadPackage.com.
Mm-hmm. It should be Lincoln Road Packaging Store.com, I believe.
We'll look it up here real quick. Yes, it is LincolnRoadPackageStore.com. So yeah, you can go on there. He's got a newsletter you guys can sign up for, and all the different spirits they carry.
Yeah, he usually lists most of his barrel picks on there.
Yeah. Under spirits, it has current private selections. I mean, he doesn't even limit it to bourbon. I mean, he has rum.
Oh yeah, he's got rum and tequila. He's got a couple tequila barrels that I've been thinking about trying, and he says there's some of the rum ones are really good, and
there's a bunch of different plantations.
He has he even has a Bellamide sherry finish that he did. So I've been itching to pull the trigger on that, but in due time.
Yeah, he has. Does he keep his site fairly up to date?
I believe so. I don't know. I usually just text him directly, and he just sends me a list. But I don't really check the site too often. But yeah, if you guys place an order, tell him Aaron sent you.
Do it. Send Aaron some more, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't have anything else to add. Do you?
I don't. This was just a phenomenal pick. Great review. This is probably one of my favorite shows we've done. It's such a good pour, and for both of us being rye guys, and both of us to hit almost a 90 mark on this.
Yeah.
On this wheat whiskey, not even a bourbon. It's saying something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to go pick up just a standard, release of it.
Yeah, do a side by side.
Yeah, just to try it out.
That'd be fun. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I might do.
Unfortunately, I don't think any Bernheims are sold in Ohio. I'd have to get out of state. That's doable. That's always doable.
Yeah, I see it down here. That and what's the other expression that they have? Gosh, I'm drawing a blank tonight.
Is it their wheated bourbon?
Yes.
Oh, larceny?
No, wait. What's the one with the? Or did they just change the label on it? It was I guess it's that one, the Bernheim original wheat whiskey. Because they had like a little metal plate type thing.
Yeah, that was the non-age stated one.
Okay.
I had the
so
metal
the
plate
age
on
stated, but they changed the label.
Yeah,
okay, that's
changed the label, went to 7 years, yeah.
Because that's what I see at some of my stores is still the non-age stated.
Oh, jeez, that's pre-2014.
Some non-sought-after Dusties.
Uh-huh, yeah. There you go.
Well, I might do that. That's all I have.
That's it. If you find one of these sitting on the shelf, that's a barrel selection. Pick it up.
We scored it an 89. Not too bad for a couple of rye guys.
That's right.
Well, where can the peeps find you?
You can always find me at Bourbon Cave on Instagram and Twitter. And I always write for the Sons of Winston Churchill. And I write high proof single barrel bourbon columns for the Bourbon Zeppelin. So check that out if you have not signed up. But the June edition is going to be a little different. So keep an eye out for that. Yes.
Suspense. The suspense is building.
It's building. So actually, well, no, this comes out Friday. So yeah, it'll be before June. So
yeah. So let's see. Next week, the 1st is on a Thursday, so it'll be a little less than a week from the time that folks are listening to this.
Yeah, so make sure you read it because it's actually a revisit of something we've done on the show. So
cool.
Yeah.
Is it a follow up on something?
Yeah, I would say so. It'll be a treat. I'm not going to spoil the surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone I guess not tune in, but read.
Yeah. Good deal.
And you?
I am Seth P. Brown on Instagram and occasionally on Twitter. That's about all I'm on anymore these days. It's just this show. I retired from the Bourbon Show. But you can find all of our shows, even the ones that I'm not on abvnetwork.com. You can find them in iTunes, in Stitcher, and Google Play. And in all of those, especially this show, we need some reviews. Some 5-star reviews, preferably. We've had a couple of new ones lately. We really appreciate the feedback. And we also appreciate it if you subscribe to our shows. It helps us greatly, as does your feedback. So go do it. Chop, chop. That's all I have. Until next time, cheers.
Later.
The Firewater Review is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers.